Welcome back to Building Better Relationships in Construction. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sabrina. Today we're on Chapter 37, Empathy, Listening and Rephrasing to Build Trust.
In this episode, we're talking about one of the simplest and most powerful skills you can use with clients and your team, listening deeply and then rephrasing what you heard.
When there's frustration or dissatisfaction, what you say in those first few minutes can either calm things down and build trust, or light the fuse and make everything worse.
Empathy is the difference. Not fake agreement, not rolling over, but genuinely trying to understand how the other person feels and showing them that you get it.
Why empathy matters so much.
A lot of people hear empathy and think it's soft or fluffy, but in construction, it's actually very practical.
When someone is upset, they usually have two needs. 1, to be heard. 2, to know you care enough to understand.
If you skip those and go straight to defending or explaining, it's to code, that's how it's supposed to look, you often make them more upset.
Empathy, done well, does 3 big things. Lowers defensiveness, builds trust and rapport, sets the stage for real problem solving.
And one of the best tools for showing empathy is rephrasing, taking what they said and reflecting it back in your own words.
The scenario, mortar joints and frustration.
Let's go back to a familiar type of situation. A client is upset about the mortar joints on their garage door stem wall.
They think the joints are too wide. They've taken photos, texted them to friends, maybe even called a mason they know to get a second opinion.
From their point of view, this looks like bad workmanship. They're embarrassed or frustrated and want it fixed.
Before you say anything else, step 1 is the same idea we talked about in the last episode. Find some truth.
Maybe you look at it and think, yeah, those joints are a little wider than standard, even if it's still acceptable.
An empathetic acknowledgement might sound like, yes, I see that the mortar joints in that section are indeed wider than standard, and I understand why that's bothering you.
Right there, you've done 2 things. Confirmed what they're seeing is real. Validated that their reaction makes sense.
That's your foundation. Now you build on it with rephrasing. The art of rephrasing to show understanding.
Rephrasing is more than just repeating their words back to them. It's paraphrasing what they said and especially how they feel about it.
For example, after that initial acknowledgement, you might say, "It sounds like these wider mortar joints are really bothering you, and you're hoping we can do something to address it."
Notice what you're doing. It sounds like you're testing your understanding, not assuming. Really bothering you. You're naming the emotion. Hoping we can do something. You're capturing their underlying need.
You're not defending. You're not arguing. You're not explaining yet. You're just showing, I heard you. I get what you're feeling. And I understand what you want.
That alone creates what we call psychological air. The client can finally breathe a little because they don't feel like they're fighting just to be understood.
Why rephrasing works.
There are a few reasons this technique is so powerful.
First, it disarms defensiveness. When you reflect their concern without judgment, they don't feel the need to raise their voice, repeat themselves, or escalate.
Second, it builds trust and rapport. People feel valued when they sense you're genuinely trying to understand them, not just get them to be quiet.
Third, it shifts them into a collaborative mindset. Once they feel heard, they're more willing to look at options and compromises.
And from your side, rephrasing is a reality check. It forces you to slow down, listen carefully, and make sure you've actually understood the concern before you respond.
From empathy to problem solving.
After you've rephrased and they've said something like, exactly, or yes, that's it. That's your signal you've got it right.
From there, you can gently move towards solutions. For example, so the width of these joints is really frustrating you, and you're hoping we can get it fixed or made to look more consistent. Let's talk through what we can do here.
You've aligned with their emotional reality first. Now you invite them into a joint problem-solving conversation.
Maybe the outcome is, you touch up a section, you agree on a cosmetic adjustment, or you walk them through why it's acceptable and agree on a reasonable compromise.
Whatever the solution is, it lands better because they feel like you're on their side, not on the other side of the table.
The long-term value of empathetic listening.
This isn't just a trick for tough moments. It's a long-term relationship strategy.
When clients consistently experience you as someone who listens fully, reflects their concerns accurately, respects their feelings, they trust you more, especially when things don't go perfectly.
That trust shows up as fewer blow-ups over small issues, more willingness to give you the benefit of the doubt, better reviews, referrals, and repeat work.
And your team benefits too. If you lead with empathy and rephrasing, they learn to do the same with each other and with clients.
That creates a culture where the default isn't blame or defensiveness. It's, let me make sure I understand you first.
Practical tips for using empathy and rephrasing.
Let's turn this into simple, repeatable habits.
First, listen fully and don't interrupt. Let them finish. If you're thinking about your response while they're talking, you're not really listening.
Second, don't jump to solutions or explanations right away. Resist the urge to fix it immediately. Focus first on showing that you understand.
Third, rephrase before you respond. Use phrases like, "It sounds like you're saying, what I hear is that you're really frustrated because, so, from your perspective?"
Fourth, validate their feelings. Even if you think the issue is small, you can still say, I can see why that would be frustrating. I understand why this would worry you.
Fifth, be sincere. Don't parrot their words mechanically. Put it in your own language. People can tell the difference between a script and genuine effort.
Sixth, match your body language and tone. Look at them. Nod. Keep your tone steady and calm.
And finally, follow up with action. Once they know you've heard them, show it by doing something. Investigate. Propose options. Give them a clear next step.
Being heard plus seeing action is what really cements trust.
Turning difficult conversations into connection.
At the end of the day, empathy isn't about giving in or agreeing with everything. It's about understanding before you respond.
When a client says, "These mortar joints look terrible," you could argue. Or you could say, "Yes, I see they're wider there, and I understand why that's bothering you. It sounds like this really doesn't match what you were expecting, and you're hoping we can make it look right."
That kind of response changes everything. You're not just a contractor defending work, you're a partner listening to a concern.
Do this consistently with clients, architects, subs, and your own team. And you'll notice less conflict, faster resolutions, stronger, more loyal relationships.
That's Chapter 37 of Building Better Relationships in Construction. Empathy, listening and rephrasing to build trust.
Share this episode with someone on your team who handles client calls, site meetings, or walkthroughs. If everyone practices empathy and rephrasing, your whole operation becomes easier to work with. And remember, this podcast is based on the principles and practices found in the book, Building Better Relationships by Paul Schwinghammer, available in multiple formats, including audiobook on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Sabrina. Remember, listen first, rephrase to show you understand, then solve the problem together. That's how you turn tough conversations into long-term trust.